Thanks for tapping into the podcast. I wanted to take a brief moment before this episode just to thank everybody who's followed on YouTube, followed on Instagram, tapped into the comments, shared our videos. It truly means a lot. We're trying to work our way up to about 50 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're already subscribing, thank you. If you're not yet subscribed, hopefully after this episode, you go ahead and hit that button. Once we get 50 subscribers, we're going to try to do a small token of appreciation for all the people who've been tapping into the pod. This episode is the first of many that to come in this format, in the video call format. So please bear with us while we sort of fine tune our audio setups and all the ways in which we are trying to bring this podcast to you. Thank you again, and we hope you enjoy this episode.
What are we calling this art beef? What's the name? The minstrel beef? A minstrel art beef?
I don't know.
Whatever it is, the coon art beef.
Coonery part two.
Uh,
I don't know.
Coonery Part 2. That's a good one. That's a good one. I actually might make that the title. Anywho, so last time we sort of talked about Thelonious Stokes. And I think the interesting segue to kind of talk about like the level of cooning and like the lack of like I want to say education around the idea of minstrelsy and the problematics of the imagery of blackface and so on and so forth. Thinking about the piece we talked about last time with Kerry James Marshall, Portrait of an Artist as a Shadow of His Former Self. Um, we looked at Thelonious's version, we read into that real deeply, but I kind of want to get into I kind of want to get into Sloan's version of that painting, which a lot of people who are pretty active on the internet and probably seen, where he basically did a 21 Savage album, and I would like to say he defaced, the what is it, the significance of Kerry James Marshall's painting, but we can pull that up on the screen. Am I allowed to screen share yet?
I believe you are.
Yeah, that. All right. So look, I'm gonna go ahead and share this with y'all. So here we have this mockery of homage to Kerry James Marshall and the legacy he has for pure capitalism. Like this has no depth to it whatsoever. Like they don't even know what they're doing. They literally put a question mark on it.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you, gang. Total ass. This is ass. It's disrespectful in so many ways. And I follow Kerry. I
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
it
yeah.
took for him to even get to this point of the Invisible Man. Hell, I've paid my homage to the Invisible Man, and I will put a picture up of it so you'll see at some point. But this,
Oh, you talking about Great
you
Invisible Man?
turn the Invisible Man into blackface? That is diabolical, brother. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, bro. It's
Yeah.
like it come to a certain time. It's like you gotta understand, like, bro, like some of this stuff is affecting like what we do as artists. For somebody
Yeah.
to stumble on that, build a luxurious career. I'm talking about phenomenal artists. He's everywhere. He's in cathedrals. He's
Mhm.
everywhere, almost in every major gallery and museum. Either got him or
Come on,
won
Kerry
his.
James.
Yes, Kerry James Marshall. And then you take one of his more prominent pieces and turn it into a blackface, some coonery shit for a music album. Stop it, gang. Stop it, bro. You need your ass whooped for that. That's just me personally. That's me
I
personally.
mean, I would agree. I feel like it's pretty diabolical to take a piece that was I don't want to get too far into the depth of what the Invisible Man means, but we can look at more of Salon's work to just kind of like continue the conversation around his non-artistry, and how he describes himself as not an artist. So
And he's not.
I mean, he's not. I mean, the first thing you see is
Bro,
him
hold
selling
on,
bag
bro.
tchotchkes.
Go to his profile picture. That's crazy. That look like that look like the
Which I
life.
mean, which yeah, it looks like fun.
That's
Which it is kind of it is kind of funny. Like, I mean, hey, by all means, have some comedy and some whimsy, whatever. But
yeah.
he's not an artist anyway.
His thing
You
say
know,
he
you can
paint like
look
a
at this.
6-year-old.
Yeah, it does. It does. Let me go to his website. Let's pull that up first, real quick for a second.
You know what? To be perfectly honest, I'm not mad at him and his work. Like, I guess for the sake of self-taught artists, for you to be doing what you're doing and have this career and what you're doing it and what you're
I
doing
would,
this
I would,
weekend, I commend you. And we did a video like I did like the joint that you did when you drove the car into the gallery, took the piece off and left. I commend you on the act of acting like an artist. But other than that, like strong work, no, it's more like we talk about. It's like a Basquiat thing. It's like a Basquiat thing. Like,
yeah,
and
I
mom
mean,
love
he's a street,
Basquiat.
I was gonna say he's a street artist.
Yeah.
He's a street artist. I would say that he's not even a self-taught artist because, well, he's not an artist. We continue going back to that, but he's a street artist. Like, everything he's doing, like, look at this. He got niggas fighting on it. Like, it's like, what is this? Police, all the shit like that. Like, clearly it's about more about like the experience of, like, I don't know, street culture or living a rugged lifestyle, living a un what is it? Uncontrolled sort of like experience of an artist. If that's the role you're playing, but it's like, the level of access that he said in the video before that he's striving for access. Like, he don't really care about money, which is, fine. Like, but he needs money for access, and he points that out. But it's like, we know you want access because the second thing on your profile is you and Mr. Beast. Like, you
Yeah.
trying to play in these rooms that really don't have anything to do with art, but they use art as a way to, like,
Open
their
doors.
finger on the pulse. You
Hmm.
open doors, have their finger on the pulse. Um, like, he talks about being curious a lot in his work and in his videos, but like, what are you curious about? Like, none of these things scream curiosity to me. Like, none of these paintings, none of these artworks. This is just a shitty portrait of Michael.
He did
Like,
this.
I don't know what. Huh? Yeah, he did this. This is Michael Jackson. This is supposed to be Michael Jackson as a child. Like, and if it's supposed to be thought provoking, I mean, yeah, thoughts it provokes are like,
Honestly, this is my
why
first
would you?
time seeing him do some shit without the blackface.
But he
And
still
that lets you
turned him
know that
into
I
a
don't
clown though.
follow. You said
He
what?
still turned him into a clown though. He turned him into a clown. Look at the red nose. He added little eyelashes. He didn't put the little grimy, like, oval like teeth over his mouth. Like, basically,
Mm.
if I was gonna philosophically read this painting, he's basically like silencing the fact that it's Michael and imposing his own reflection of Michael Jackson onto him and making him a jester, turning Michael Jackson into a gesture for his curiosity. If
Which is
we if
not like a bad thing. I don't think that's like necessarily a bad thing. I just,
Yeah,
but at the end of the
I,
day, he's just not a strong artist.
I
So
think
that's
it's a
what makes it
bad thing. I think it's a bad thing in terms of, like, intentionality, because the intentionality, I don't believe, was what I just said. I think
yeah.
the intentionality was to honestly just make another, like, spectacle, another thing he knows people are going to buy into, just like the fucking Ninja Turtles,
Yeah, and
just
then
like
the guy
fucking what is it, Iron Man.
on the comment is an asshole.
Which one? Let's
Go
see.
back. When it's for the best to ever do it, only the best behind the brush will do. Gang. Come on, gang.
The best behind the brush.
So he's saying, you know what he's saying. Come on, bro. He's not the best person to do this painting.
No, no.
I can go to
Your
Philadelphia. I can go to mid city and throw a rock in the air and land it, and that rock will hit somebody that would do that piece better.
bro, Michael Jackson would fucking would burn probably not accept this painting if somebody tried to give it to him.
Yeah.
Unless it was a child, like if he was 6 years, actually 6 years old, I think Michael Jackson would accept it.
Only
But
way, yeah,
other
only
than
way
that,
Michael Jackson taking that is if you was a 6-year-old boy with some type of illness at Wonderland, gang.
yeah, yeah. A make unless you was a Make-A-Wish kid, you not getting this shit to Michael Jackson.
No, absolutely not. The
But
teeth is deep. It's
then
crazy.
you're gonna have somebody else help you make an Iron Man painting so you can come in and bring your little face over it, your little clown face. Like it's not even like
Is that not his? That's not his work?
no, that's not his work. I think
It's a
somebody else is
collaboration.
responsible. Yes, I think it's whoever this guy is. Um, yeah, it's whoever this guy who looks like he incorporates some type of cartooning into his work. But I think him and Salon got a couple collabs.
Oh, okay. I mean, his work ass too. So
Yeah, I mean, like, look at these skateboards, bro. Like, it's like I don't know, like something happens. I don't know, something about y'all childhood y'all can't get over where y'all just feel the need to make these distorted ass cartoon characters, um, instead of just coming up with your own shit. This is probably more original than anything else.
yeah,
And the clown, we could talk about it all day, but we go in circles. It's just uninspiring.
yeah.
Like it's
I like the hot air balloon.
because it's massive and it's a hot air balloon shaped like a cartoon face. Of course, it's attractive.
Yeah,
Just like this is attractive. Biden causes style attractive.
this is a collaboration though, right?
I don't think that it
No,
was.
it says yeah, it's a Sloan and Calls.
It says that, but I don't think. I don't know. From what I think I read somewhere that it was like, and I'll have to do more research after this, but I think it says somewhere that like he didn't get approval to do this. Like he just did it. Um, which is why you don't, it's only been promoted once. There's no other promotion of this item. Like normally it probably would have came with little miniatures and shit like that. I haven't seen any.
Somebody says shows how little I know shit about art. What the fuck is this about? Calls always been a lane though.
I mean, if people don't, I mean, it just depends. It just depends. Everybody's opinion, I think, on graffiti artists and or street artists, whatever, is always different. I think that it lacks originality, it lacks depth. It's just an image you can continue to pump out and produce over and over and over again without having to like think deeply about what each one means. And I think that's hard for artists like us, considering like we can make that type of work. We have artwork in like sections of our practice that are dedicated to that type of craft, to shit that I can just pump out over and over again, or I can edit it and make it look different in 12 different ways and print them all as shirts or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Uh, but that is only I can only do that shit for so long. Like before I make a serious painting, then I'm like, yeah, this is about something. This is about something. This is about a conversation. This is about there's a depth that has to be explored here, not just pretty colors for you to consume and be like, yeah, that was cool. That'll be a cool backdrop for my fucking phone.
Yeah. Elevator art.
Ooh, I got a purse with this, spray paint on it. You can go to St. Louis, you can go to any city and go find you about fucking 30 black kids that do that same shit.
Yeah.
That want to be designers and spray paint on clothes and paint on purses and shit.
Yeah. I mean,
Why
yeah.
is Slon doing it? An elite artist who supposedly is in major galleries and has major fucking, traction with his work, selling works easily for 10 grand at least, 10 grand at least. Why is he out there selling purses and bags and shit? Because I know it ain't for cheap. I know he ain't selling them purses for $60. They're probably at least 300 a piece. It's just a paywall to like culture and coolness that he's curating. He's not like it's not like these are things that are just naturally cool within street community culture, black community. He's making his thing the trend by moving the way he's moving, crashing the car into the gallery and stealing the painting off, like turning himself into this like art bad boy,
Hmm.
which is kind of lame. So to that guy's comment, like, you know, it is pretty lame.
Yeah.
And before we run out of time, we should switch to Chris Kane, and talk about his work, his platform.
Okay.
Um, I'll preface with saying that I think that well, one, I take Chris Kane's side on this
Same
beef
here.
that this internet act beef that they had. I think we both have talked about that. Sorry, let me pull this up. Pulling up his Instagram now. Go ahead and share my screen. But I do want to look more at his work, look at his website, and just kind of like uh, just talk a little more in
I ain't
depth
seen none of his newer work.
about his platform. All right, so let's look at it then. Let's look at it together. All righty. So there's this painting he's working on or was working on that I think is a lot. It's not like the most detailed painting in the world, and it's not like got a whole lot going on. But for the first time in from what I've seen of in his practice, it's the first painting that doesn't have a lot going on. Like there is just this central subject action that is, freeze frame that we're like kind of being presented with.
Yeah.
Uh
His compositions are definitely getting stronger, I see.
yeah. Like I can see and like his details always kind of been there.
Yeah.
Um, but I I think the subject matter is getting stronger too, because there was another piece that he did. Like I think this one's fire. I like this.
Mm.
It's still got a lot going on, but I think it has a lot of like it's got a lot of depth. I think, and it talks about, I see conversations of erasure, transcendence, and sort of like also maybe even death a little bit, and just sort of like the process of like art industry that continues to just like paint over the ascension of black arts,
Hmm.
um, black creativity in general. Let's see, where is this painting I was looking at? Not this one. The golden apple paintings, I'm not as impressed with. But that one, but the thing about that golden apple painting though that I think is really
It's
cool,
painted well.
it's painted well, but I think what's really cool about this is I think when he first moved to Cali, I think it's San Francisco, somewhere in Cali, San Diego maybe. He went out and basically was asking black people to be a subject in one of his
Yeah,
paintings.
I
And
remember
he
that.
got yeah, he got a bunch of no's. And I think this was the first person that said yes. So I mean, great painting to come out of that process. And I think that that's also like a testament to his character as an artist. Um, now, deeming yourself a self-taught artist is a different conversation that we've had a couple of times.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
like,
I think he's a phenomenal artist. The need to say self-taught artist always was like one of those things. I'm like, why not just be an artist, But at the end of the day, like I said, he's the exception when it comes to self-taught artists. I guess because he has reached this level of artistry and craftsmanship where you
mm,
can like you could really if he's trying to distinguish himself, because if he never said that, you would think he had some type of academic training. That's how
Mm-hmm.
good he paints. So if he
Mm-hmm.
wants to remind people like, okay, yeah, I'm doing this and I'm self-taught, I understand it. But at some point you drop that self-taught shit and just be like, yeah, I'm cold at this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of whatever you think, like I put in the time, like I say all the time, like we went to school, we academic trained artists, but if I'm being honest with you, 80% of what I know and what I do is what I did on my own after I left school.
Yeah.
You know, you're a professor. You tell me all the time, like, you're not going to become a great artist by just doing assignments and that's it.
Yeah.
You got to take those assignments and take them and take those techniques and skills home and do something else with them. Now
Exactly.
we're living in 2026 where you can literally go to YouTube and learn how to do a fucking a egg tempera painting or learn how to do a glazed painting and stuff like that. So you got more access, but at the end of the day, I'm just not a big person on that self-taught artist shit because I think I'm both. But you'll never hear me say anything about that, or you'll never hear me say I'm a academic trained artist. I'm just gonna be a professional artist and call it a day.
And the major
But as far
takeaway
as
is
his
like,
work is phenomenal. I think
yeah,
it's phenomenal. Some of it, because
some of
I
it. I
wouldn't even
mean,
sit here and say all
there's
his
some
work is
painters that,
phenomenal. Even all my work isn't phenomenal. So, but he do got like some really really strong pieces, and his concepts on composition has grown.
yeah, yeah. And I think that, the biggest takeaway is that you can always develop, and your development is visibly like or sorry, is visible in the work. Like if I'm looking at your work, I can tell how much you've grown. Like as an educator, as somebody who's been doing art for a long time, I can tell what changed or what you learned, not even what you learned, but what shifted from one painting to the next. I can tell it in myself. I know if I do one painting, the next painting I do is gonna have something to it that is just like, wow, that is a step above. And sometimes I may like say, you get into a slump. We've had times where we like 3 months without painting, 4 months, up to a year without painting, and then you get back into it and you like, damn, I really hate this painting. I really
Yeah.
hate because you have to like re get that muscle memory back into play. But when you're like deep in the art of the act of being an artist, which I assume he is. It seems like that's his main thing is being an artist full time, working on your craft full time. I think the natural development is very, very present in his work. But it's I think on the other side, it's the concepts. I just want to share the screen one more time to basically look at his website. And I think this is important because not to say that my website is perfect or that like there's gonna be some type of like major thing to learn about websites and portfolios from looking at mine. But one thing I do know is I have one. And I got a decent enough amount of writing on my website that tells people, whoever's coming to it, about me as an artist, what I'm doing, the artist statement. Sometimes some of them have statements for each individual piece, depending on what piece I'm describing. So I'm just looking at this page overall. One is Shopify. There's no problem with that. My RB page is the RB page is a Shopify, but that's also not the best platform for showcasing the type of information that artists normally showcase. Now, making money by all means, getting murals and all this stuff. This is probably great platforming, but as a serious artist, which I would regard you as a serious artist. There has to be some more language around the work you're doing. So I think that while it's okay for artwork to be open-ended, it's okay for us to it's okay for the audience to be left with some questions, but there's nothing. Like, we can't find anything about the work. And if I go to about, it's just an about statement about you, which is fine, but like it doesn't really even tell me anything about you as an artist.
Let
All
me
it does is tell me what you've done, like that you've been in the army, that these are some small concepts, the way you've written about them, and that you live in LA and you've done some murals and you plan to do more. You know, I
Yeah.
like there has to be something more about there's more to you about there's more to the reason you started painting when you went to go serve in U.S. Army, or you got
Yeah.
back to artwork in the process of going to the U.S. Army or coming back or whenever you started. Like there's something to that connection that we can, if we go back to the Instagram, I was just looking at a painting that has a lot of military influence on it. I think it was the painting of like the Red Tails or the Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah.
But it but the but there's nothing here. I have no information about you, no information about the work. We could go look at the work, but I don't think there's any statements about it. Nope, just prices for prints, which is totally fine. By all means, make your bread, do
You know
your
what? I'm
hustle
not gonna lie. I may purchase a print from him
for the right piece.
at
I
some
would.
point. Yeah, at some point I'll purchase me a print, but I know he not post like maybe he just need a website update. That's another
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like if you're
While
not
you
really
stepped away, that's
dedicating
what I
that
was.
time, yeah, if you're not dedicating that time to like your website and shit like that, of course. But at the end of the day, like you do need a stronger about page. Like I'm not saying like we want to know about every piece that you do, but I'm sure at some point, since you showing you got a cohesive body of work, that you can at least give us something about that, even if it's only two or three sentences. I think that would be, like people don't people like I said, I tell people all the time, like people don't give a fuck about what you do. They want to know why you do it. It's too
Yeah,
many painters out here for you to give a fuck about everything that that person is painting. They just want to know why you do it.
yeah,
I want to know
yeah.
why you doing surrealism. I want to know I want to know why or how you even landed the job to doing the mural. Like talk about those experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like I think those and I'm working on it myself. Like because for the longest, all I did was like paint art. I mean, post art, finished pieces and shit. Like people care about it, but they really want to see the process, gang. Like they,
Want to see the process, yeah.
yeah,
And honestly, like real art lovers, real art community, like people who teach in colleges, people who are in school, like people who go to galleries pretty often, they want to know the like you can't reserve all of that because I know you're talking about them at the art shows. I know you going in depth at the art shows. You can't save all of that for that moment
and
because how
then
many moments,
I'm
how
sorry.
many until you get to the point where like Slon and the other niggas at, how many times are you gonna be in the gallery space to actually develop that connection with your community, like, or with the people that follow your work. So, as somebody who is following your work, I can't stand and be like, I'm not following your work because I'm looking at your
Yeah,
progression, I'm at the development, I'm liking the development that I am seeing, but you gotta let me know something. You gotta
yeah,
give me and shit, you can come on here and talk to us about it. You can
yeah,
definitely we open that door to you to come on here and talk your shit and give your opinions, give your point of views, talk about what it's like being an artist where in what is it, San Diego? Yeah, or in
yeah.
Los Angeles.
This is
So
this is what I say. And maybe it's an academic thing, I don't know. But at the end of the day, don't deprive other people that are inspired by what you're doing, that actually want to be in class writing papers about their favorite artists or artists that is contemporary artists that inspire them. Like I've written so many papers about St. Louis based artists that inspired me when I was at PAFA, but they had the information out there for me to read and learn about what they doing for me to even write something on them. If I'm just going to your page and I just see that you wrote that you did painted three, four murals and you was in the army and shit like that, don't get me wrong, that's cool. That's cool. That's the introduction for an intro. That's it. But as far as the body of work, I can't say that if I wanted to write a newsletter or article or something on you, I would have nothing to go off of other than your Instagram. And that in that case, that's why I be talking about like it's to a certain degree, it's imperative if you want to reach a specific level of intellect when it comes to art that you either go to school for it or you dedicate the same amount of time as you do with painting into the way that you think and write about art. You see what I'm saying? And that makes a stronger body of work at the end of the day. And I don't give a fuck if you self-taught, if you learn how to paint on the moon, goddamn me. If you write and do a lot of reading and research on why you doing what you doing, either before, during, or after, it makes it easier for you to put together a cohesive body of work.
Yeah. And I'll piggyback on that comment of like as an educator, I teach our history classes. I have classes where we have like, portfolio reviews and we talk to the students about who inspires them. And you could very well be the type of artist that one of my students is inspired by because a lot of them go to Instagram. These aren't students, these aren't your typical, what is it? Ivy League students. These are students who are really trying to like basically starting from ground zero in the world of art. So they're pulling a lot of their inspiration from Instagram artists, from people who are out there making content like yourself. So if they go to your page and they're inspired by your work and there's nothing to read about, when they write their paper on you, it's not going to be a great paper. I'm going to look at this and be like, oh, who is this dude? Oh, some Instagram artist who is just somebody they like. Nice. And then they also don't even know why they like you. They like, yeah, I just like the colors or I like the style or whatever. They don't know, oh, I like that he brings up historical references. I like that, there's a deep connection to his time in the military or whatever the case may be. Like there has to be some type of information, like he was just saying, about you so that people who are really going to school who are inspired by you can follow that legacy. Even I mean, the Instagram reels are great, but if you were to let's say 100 years from now, all of us be dead and gone. Are they going to look back at your art? Are they going to look back at your career if your name comes up and be like, "Oh, dang, I wish we could look at his Instagram reels because, you know,
Yeah.
we no, because those are gone now."
Yeah.
Or are they like, dang, I read this, I found this old, article that Chris Kane wrote, or this old, artist statement, what is it, exhibition catalog that, from one of his shows that really talks about all his work and, so on and so forth. Are they going to be able to go and pull up old interviews of you actually going into depth about what these pieces are about and not just you know, the thing that sells on social media, which is comedy and immediacy and people who don't have a lot of mental capacity to sit there and watch you, listen to it. You
And
still got
then,
to create.
but one thing I can say is like one thing I do like about the content that he posts, because like most of the content that he posts is like you can like really relate to it on a lot of platforms you can relate to it
Yeah,
because like I think he did something like up going to the studio, hour went by not doing shit, 2 hours went by not doing shit, three
yeah,
hours going by watching a movie on Netflix. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I like that, but at the end of the day, um, I ain't gonna lie, I would like to talk to him on on this platform just because like, I want to address this self-taught academic taught artist and to be honest with you, I've met artists that has academic success and they ass, and I've met self-taught artists that are ass. So at least if I'm gonna have this conversation, I'm gonna have this conversation with somebody that can really make some fucking good artwork and let them be the spokesperson for how the self-taught artist mind work. You know what I'm saying? In the process, in the idea of writing about the process, and how do you go about learning new techniques and finding things out on your own if that's what you're doing now. If you finding shit out on YouTube and shit like that, then that's not self-taught. Somebody's teaching you how to do something. But if you literally like in the studio and you stumbling across shit, me personally, I'm a self-taught oil painter. You'll never hear me say that again. I never had any training on that shit, only acrylic. Not until I graduated, I said, let me try oil because I was trying a different type of Renaissance style painting. So I taught myself how to do that shit. And I literally bought a lot of applications and shit for oil painting and wasted a lot of money on shit that I didn't need. So yes, I can understand how you think to a certain point. I think all artists are self-taught artists to a certain degree, but I would love to have that conversation with you, gang, and
Yeah.
just, iron it out.
Yeah. And honestly, all I want to talk to you about is just like write what we've been talking about. Write more. Like, or and what are you gonna write about? What is the best thing to write about when you don't want to say a lot or you do want to say a lot? What is the best formats? We could be talking about platforming and how we go about these things. It could be not only I don't want it to be like, oh, it's gonna be a workshop for you and all shit like that, but it could be a workshop for the people who tap into the conversation between us, where we're all, pitching ideas in terms of like what constitutes good writing when it comes to being an artist. And we've said it time and time again, you got good work. So
Yeah, and guess what? You can critique my work. You can critique
please,
this
I
work
mean, by
right
all
here over
means,
there. If it's some shit that you feel like you can call me out on, brother, I'm telling you, I've been called out my whole life when it comes to this art shit. So nothing that like, don't think that we trying to pull you onto something for us to bash you. Like it's all open. Like we say critique. Critique goes both ways.
hmm
Goes both ways, gang. So you know what I'm saying? If you up to it now, if you ain't up to it, I'm on your ass.
yeah, if you ain't never been in a real critique, it critiques aren't just us going da, 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 da. Like it's a conversation. Like
Yeah.
you have the right to stand on whatever you want to stand on.
And that's just
That
not
is,
for you. Like that's for anybody
that's
that
everybody.
watching this,
Everybody.
like that's watching this that want to reach out to us on the RB podcast page and be like, hey, I want to do a critique, or hey, I want to, what I'm saying, or maybe I want to critique my work. I'm not saying we're gonna critique all your work, and if you know your work ass, it's best you not reach out because this is the RB podcast.
Yeah.
We gonna
But if
keep
you
it
are if
respect.
you are going to reach out, please have an artist website
Yeah,
and have a
and an
website
artist
portfolio,
statement.
whatever, with an artist statement. At least you don't have to have no other writing. You don't have to write another word outside of a solitary artist statement.
Yeah.
And if your shit is written with AI like that Thelonious nigga, obviously AI, it's a non-negotiable. Like I can't fuck with you if you can't write.
No, I'm
Like,
gonna do the video,
oh
but
yeah,
I'm
I'm gonna
gonna
do
tear
the
your
video.
shit apart.
Yeah. So I mean, like have the things that we've talked about as like, tenets of a good working artist or somebody who looks like they're actually doing it, living it. And hey man, we're not here to bash nobody.
No,
But
no, most
you
definitely.
but
I mean,
you
yeah, I ain't
but
gonna lie, I did bad Shalom, but Shalom, whatever the fuck his name is. I don't even
I
know.
mean but but at the end of the day, that
I mean, that's
you
bad
know,
work. So.
it's bad work. I
And he's
mean,
not an artist. So
and he's not an artist. It's bad work. He's not an artist. Thelonious, that's probably the only who, as a person, individual, I would critique because as a person or individual, he is the artwork that he's performing that I find problematic. So I'm critiquing him as a person because he is the artwork he's trying to put out there. So, but yeah, all clarification that I'm not the type of person, well, neither one of us is the type of person that's going after the individual. We're talking about the artwork. I've said it on the Art Beef Instagram before. Critique is about the artwork,
not the person.
not the person. We
But
if we address you, it's about what you could do in the piece better or
yeah.
what you could have done. That's it.
And then my thing is to finish this off, I definitely think Chris won this art beef.
Yes, yes, by all means.
I
By all
definitely
means.
think he won this art beef.
I think he won this art beef. I don't think Slon or Thelonious could stand in an exhibition with him. If we talking about just brass tacks of the situation, what it came to, I don't think either one of them would want to sit in it. I mean, it would probably get hella clout if they actually did it for charity, like Chris suggested. But by all means, by all standards that I see in my head, Chris definitely won. Chris definitely won.
And then, but even still, like before you even go and have a boxing match, just put y'all shit in the same exhibition.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what he's talking about. That's
You
what
know,
he's talking
oh,
about.
okay, okay.
That's what Chris Kane was talking about. Chris Kane was saying that we do an exhibition, do it for the art.
Oh,
Dave,
so you talking
somebody
about
else
a
online
boxing
was
exhibition?
no, somebody else online was talking about that, and Sloan and Stokes was on that bullshit. So
Oh yeah. You don't want.
But
Hey, like
chill.
I said last time, you don't want to be fighting no military personnel.
No. You leave that one alone.
Them niggas be
But
flying
hey man,
pig.
Chris Kane, hit us up. For everybody else watching, we love y'all. Check out the rbeefstore.com for merch and check out our pages at unartistic at Kenneth D. Randall, periods between the D. So yeah.
Ooh.